Alright guys, it's 4 a.m. and it's time to get ready for my first day at electrician school. Now in preparation for school, I meal prepped on Sunday night, made sure I have enough food to last me the rest of the week, and I think you may have noticed, I also shaved my head. Just things to keep my mental going strong. We got chicken, rice, asparagus. Not really much more you can ask for. After 10 minutes on the bus, an hour on the train, all we got left is a fucking 30-minute Uber. Alright, I made it to the campus. Just gotta find my class, and after class, I'll give you an update. First half is over, we're on lunch. So far, we took a tour of the campus, went over the basic ideas of what construction is and a little bit of the lingo that we're going to be using. Went over what kind of textbooks we need to get, things like that, some real basic first day things. And I'll let you know what happens after lunch. Alright, so I'm out of school. Lost one of my earbuds in the Uber. That's alright, shit happens. Took the train, bus, now I'm on my final walk back to the crib. When I get there, I'm gonna let you know everything I learned on day one in electrician school. During the 7-8 hours of class, and none of it was anything I had studied beforehand. The first day was spent learning mostly about construction. Now something you might not know that I did not know, that most kids in the class didn't know, was that being an electrician is technically part of the construction gig. And actually the construction gig is made up of a lot of different things, such as welders, pipe fitters, electricians, iron workers, and all sorts of other things. Some of the key points we went over today that are apparently going to be on the test, which is tomorrow. Construction workers are considered first responders. We work on the infrastructure. We're the ones who get services and people's livelihoods going back up and running. There was things we learned, such as the NCCER, which is the curriculum of the electricians. OSHA, they do safety and health. We learned about CAD, which is something that you might have learned in high school. It's just like 3D, 2D modeling. We learned about pros and cons of being in the trades. Not much cons actually that we learned. We learned pros. One of the big pros is that there's a lot of mobility within it. You got lots of opportunity to travel and things like that. Now there's 4 sectors of construction. That's residential, commercial, industrial, and infrastructure. These things are the things that make up the trades. We learned about what the contractor does. They're the ones who oversee the project, and they budget things and make sure that things are quality assured, the materials, and up to code. There's the project owner. He's basically the guy who puts up all the money, and he can oversee some things as well. There is the sub/specialty contractors. These are they employ people who have trades, or what we call craft professionals, and usually for specific parts of the job. So they'll employ electricians to do electrical work and so forth. There's the crew leader, also known as a foreman. They supervise and oversee the crew that is out there working. There's the site superintendent. They manage all the day-to-day activities on that site, so not just one specific trade, but they manage a few different things. Whatever's going on in their site, they manage that. And then there's the project manager. The project manager oversees the planning, delivery, and they have to do it within a certain time. They have to keep it in budget. They have to schedule everything, make sure that everything is executed as well as possible efficiently through the different phases of the project. A few more things we went over is so paths you can get, paths in this career. So start out in middle school. Now, not many of us are struggling here. I know it was one of the hardest parts of your life. From that, you go to high school, right? And from high school, you can either get a degree in university, go to community college. Okay, now if you get a degree, you can go straight up to an assistant project manager, which that's a big deal. Honestly, that is. But you got to go to school for 4 years, acquire all this debt. You can go to a community college, which is what I'm doing, and I'm actually going here. So I'm from community college. You can go into university. You can keep doing community college and gain entry level, and then become a craft professional. But what I'm doing is I'm becoming an industry apprentice. From there, you can become the foreman to the site superintendent, and from there you can go to a project manager, which they make, I think, about the most money, like $150K a year. But these guys make a lot of money as well, and they do all right. Now the senior manager moves up to the CEO. Didn't really talk too much about the salary there. More stuff we got going on. All sorts of stuff here. This is a mess. Try to brief it up for you. I hope that doesn't make too much noise. Also, I hope the audio comes through while I'm talking through this. I lost the other one today, but let's get back into it. Now, CTE, that's like those are like the high school classes you did where you were hands-on, things like pottery or whatever they called it. I did robotics. A lot of people do engineering. My high school had a mechanical class, which was pretty cool. But they teach you real-life application and non-technical skills, which is very important to have, especially in a career like this, as well as they allow you to have career exploration. And that's really handy to have before you get into something like this, especially if you decide to go the 4-year degree route. You don't want to put all that money in and not know what you're getting into. Non-technical skills or soft skills, things like communication, work friendliness, and other things like that some people just don't have. Let's see. Now, we learned this today, but it's probably not hard to guess. The class-to-job learning ratio is 20-80%. So 20% of your time is spent in the classroom. That's going to be about 570-something hours, close to 600 hours. And 80% of that time is going to be on the job site learning. And you need 8,000 hours there as an apprentice to graduate from your apprenticeship. Let's see. Now, in the electrical field, it can be split up into 3 categories. Honestly, a little more than that, kinda. So there's some specialties in there, but basically you got your resis, your commercials, and your industrials. Those are your 3 main components. Now, there's people who work on boats, and those are like called, I think I have it written in here actually somewhere, maritime or something like that. Those are maritime electricians. There's some other ones too, I believe, but this is first day stuff. So we learn things like on-job learning. So that's like when you work and you learn, you're getting paid for that. That's really great. The NFPA, that's basically the electrical code of conduct book, which I actually have right here. Now this sucker, don't buy in the bookstore. Do not buy in the bookstore. It's gonna run you a real pretty penny. Get that on Amazon. The rest of them, price match it, then get it in the bookstore. There's two other books you need. That's the NCC core book and the electrical level 1 book for your first semester of classes, or term of classes. Whatever you want to call it. We learned about the DOL. Those are the guys who maintain and standardize the apprenticeship and the programs like that. So you're not technically an apprentice until you're working and learning. So it's like you gotta have class and work. So me, technically, not quite an apprentice yet. We're just out here getting the schooling. We learned about OSHA, and that's safety and health. We learned about electrical service. Those are that's like your utility outside, your meter and everything, and the cord that goes into the service and everything. We learned about raceways. That's an enclosure that houses conduits or conducts in an electrical system, right? Oh, during the rough-in, right? So the raceway happens during the rough-in. The rough-in is the beginning stage of wiring that involves the raceway. And what does this say? Panels. When you're doing panels, you're starting panels. That's part of the they rough in, right? This is all sloppy notes too, so I have to Cornellize these. Just don't got time for that. I gotta get to bed and get back to class. My day's dumb long. I'm gonna have to figure out where to fit studying in there, but hopefully you watch this video and you get a little head start on that. Now there's substations. This is, my instructor said it's not generally enclosed, but they described it as an enclosed assembly of high voltage equipment that connects from the generators to the grid. And these things can generally they step up the voltage or they reduce voltage. So it starts at the grid and it brings it down to a residential level so that when you walk by your outlet in your home, you're not getting electrocuted. There's the trim out, which is the final stage of wiring. So we got the rough in, which is the beginning, and the trim out, which is the final stage of wiring. It involves the installation of devices and fixtures. Things we have to learn are the code safety. I think these are safety codes. The 1926 is the safety code for construction, one of them, I guess, and the 1910 is the general industry safety code. Now, industrial electricians have installers and maintenance electricians, and basically guys who install the equipment and guys who maintain it. But generally, the guys who install it also maintain. It depends on where you are. Now let's see. And then we learned a little bit about what a pre-apprenticeship is. That's, of course, when you complete a couple hours while you're in high school. And after that, we have to read the first chapter of the NCCER core book and the first chapter of the Electrical 1 book. I have read part of that. I just don't have the time. I got to get going to bed. But it asked a few questions. Here are the questions that it asks. One, for the NCCER core book, describe the construction industry. Define the construction industry and summarize the current and future outlooks for the jobs. That was A. And then B, identify some of construction's more prominent contributions in history. So things like, how it evolved, things like the Great Pyramid and just how we learned construction over time and what they do for us looking back. Like, we can date a lot of things looking at old construction. Number 2, we have to explain the benefits of a construction career. A for that is recognize and explain how construction careers make a difference in the community, right? And then B is describe the financial and professional benefits of pursuing a construction career. 3 was to describe the typical career path for craft professionals. So remember I showed you the map. And that is A, describe the sectors and the progression paths for construction. So we got the sectors, I told you that. That's resi, industrial, infrastructure, and the third one, or fourth one, I mean. Identify different construction careers and the skills they require. So pipe fitters, welders, iron workers, general construction guys. I forget. There's so many electricians. Haven't had time to review one more time. And number 4 was identify ways to pursue a career in the construction industry. Explain the benefits of the CTE program. Describe the advantages of craft training programs and their relationship with apprenticeships, and summarize the path to construction through community college and universities. These things I didn't answer all the questions. I got the notes in there, I can answer them. I got the book I need to read. Actually, I don't have the NCCER core book yet, but I have my notes that I'm reading. My school actually ran out of books, so try to get those ahead. Try to know what books you need ahead. We had problems at our school where we just didn't get to know until today. That's okay. Something's happened. The teacher's very lenient with us because he realizes there was a mistake made on their part, and that's all right. So I'm sure that was really fast. I hope you guys were able to keep along. Some other things we went over were the tools we need. So a lot of different hand tools. I would search up what hand tools you need to be an electrician. Try to get those, get a tool belt. Oh yeah, in class, no jewelry. So you notice I started with my gauges in. I'm not putting those in no more. I mean, I guess when I'm on a personal time, you need to wear work boots to class with protection in them, so like steel toe or something. Or there's better alternatives for electricians. You don't necessarily want steel in your shoes, but I'm not looking too hard. We mostly want our boots so we don't step on nails. They're providing hard hats, safety glasses, vests, and gloves for us, and power tools as well as a little bit of hand tools, but we're supposed to get those on our own. And yeah, tomorrow we are testing and probably going over the next chapters of the book, because we went over the first 2 chapters. It's just so much information, it's getting lost in the noggin. It's been going on for quite a bit now. I hope you guys enjoyed. This has been your neighborhood Sparky, and yeah.
Making brand new circuitry, or playing games in a pro league, or even cooking on TV. The point is that I follow dreams.